Hi, folks. This is the Donald J. who does not claim to be an extremely stable genius. I'm just sort of an ordinary guy who knows a little bit about weather, which we shall talk about for the holiday weekend, my updated forecast. And it will not be a glitch free holiday weekend. I know we've been telling you that, and not just me, but other weather sources as well. This is a high resolution model, and we begin in the pre dawn hours of Saturday morning. This is at about 5 in the morning, and this model is projecting some strong thunderstorms west and northwest of us, sinking in our general direction. We move up to 5 or 6 in the morning, and then as we get to 6 in the morning, we're seeing some thunderstorms getting onto Niagara County, the Niagara frontier. And as the morning goes along, this first cluster moving toward the east-southeast, and then we get some rain-free time. But note, we're already seeing a buildup over the areas, the suburbs north of Detroit and up into southern Ontario, and these are barreling toward western New York. One of the reasons we're concerned about these storms is it doesn't look like we're going to have a stabilizing southwest wind off the cool lake waters. In fact, let's show you the wind barbs, and you can see the wind direction from the south, not crossing the cool Lake Erie waters, which means these storms are not going to be encountering a whole lot of Lake Erie influence as they move toward western New York. If we had the southwest wind we've had this Thursday afternoon, there'd be much less to be concerned about. So let's go back to the precipitation and the approximate timing seen in this model. Here we are late morning, and we've got some almost rain-free time in the model, and then another cluster of storms as we get to the noon hour just to our west. And these in this model appear to pack quite a punch as they move into Chautauqua, Erie, and Niagara County, and then extend out toward the Genesee Valley. So you see, it's not a steady all-day rain, but these storms do pose the potential for some damaging straight-line gusts, and this is not just my thinking. It is also the thinking of the Climate Prediction Center. The Storm Prediction Center, which is located on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. And they have most of western New York at a slight 15% risk for severe thunderstorms. And they agree because the winds are going to be uniform and not be veering around with a change in elevation. That tends not to produce rotating cells and tends to produce, if there is damaging straight line winds, also the possibility for some hail. Let's get back to that model and continue to go through the weekend. So here we are, early afternoon, and those strong storms move quickly to the east-southeast. They're still around at 2 o'clock, and then we get into, at least in this model, a good period of rain-free conditions. It's going to be mild in the low, possibly mid-70s, and rather humid, and not a real refreshing Lake Erie breeze. And then we've got more rain-free time in this model late in the afternoon. Then as we get into the evening hours, we start to see some strong to possibly severe storms redeveloping. But this time around, they should be, because there's going to be a cool front nearby, primarily over the southern tier and not up to Buffalo. And indicated in these models, these two would pack a punch for parts of Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny, McKean, and Potter counties. There could be some severe weather potential there as well. And then the news for Sunday has changed a little bit. I have a Buffalo News online forecast for the holiday weekend in the weather section. And yesterday, when I wrote the article, I've since updated it with a comment today, most of the indicators were Sunday's shower threat would be primarily south of the metro area. And we're going to take a look at a different model here and look at Sunday. But newer model runs now do bring some of the showers primarily in the afternoon hours as far north as the Niagara frontier. And so Buffalo may get off not entirely unscathed. Certainly no indicator of a complete washout or an all-day rain. It does appear that if you live up around Youngstown, Wilson, Olcott, you have much less chance of any of these showers. Still mostly southern tier and up to Erie, Genesee, and Wyoming counties into the evening. But then the news gets better as we get into Memorial Day itself, and we have to jump to a different model for that. When we look that far out in time, we are getting ourselves a solid from nature on Monday. And got to switch back to a different run here so we can take a look at Monday, but it's a simple picture on Monday. We've got high pressure building in from the north. That'll take our temperatures and the humidity down a little bit. Still a very comfortable day. We should make it up to around 70, maybe 71, but partly to mostly sunny skies. And if you had a boat on the water, doesn't look like wave heights would be a big problem. These forebode fairly light winds out of the north-northeast for both of the lakes. And it also, very importantly, assures ideal conditions for the memorial ceremonies in the morning, as well as the happier parades which follow. So the most solid of the weekend days, this Memorial Day weekend, is Monday itself, Memorial Day. And then we get unsettled again next week. And just to look ahead quickly, we're going to be warmer next week. On Sunday, the National Weather Service headquarters has us at 73. I'm not sure we'll make it quite to 73 with a northerly flow, but then we look ahead to Memorial Day, and it's got our temperatures similar. I think maybe 2 or 3 degrees too warm, especially up near the Lake Ontario shoreline with a northeast breeze. But then we warm up again as we get to Tuesday, and the Weather Prediction Center headquarters has us at 75. That's at the Buffalo Airport in this model, which it's not a model, it's a model data plus human input. In other words, if they look at the models and say, what the heck is that? They change the numbers. If for some reason you have to travel to the southeast next week, a real searing and steamy heat wave, that's a projected high for Atlanta of 102 degrees on Tuesday, and that is exceptional for late May, even in Atlanta. Maybe it may be a record, I don't know. And we look ahead to Wednesday, and Wednesday we're still nice and warm, mid and upper 70s here on the Niagara Frontier. Still real steam heat over the southeast, oppressive heat and humidity in Florida, 96 in Tampa. I lived in Tampa for a year, and I can tell you 96 on May 29th would be extraordinarily hot and humid that early in the season. Maybe not a record, but pretty uncomfortable. And then we looked up to Thursday, and we're still seeing extreme heat over the southeast. We begin cooling down. The hot ridge of high pressure here begins to get squished down to the south, which may allow temperatures for next weekend to go back to a little below average, a little cool for the pool. But we'll update you on that as time goes along. So very quickly, the summation. Saturday, a very unstable day, not an all-day rain, but a few periods of showers and strong thunderstorms with rain-free periods in between, a 15% risk that a few of those thunderstorms could pack a real punch with damaging straight-line winds. Sunday, in the afternoon, a few, but fewer, scattered showers and a few thunder showers. Looks mostly dry in the morning, low 70s. Memorial Day, a solid day meteorologically. I will update this again on Friday if necessary, if there are big changes or that severe weather threat on Saturday appears to be worsening. Of course, I'll clue you in that. And please hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel so I can get my free trip to North Platte, Nebraska. And if you believe that, then you'd believe I'm an extremely stable genius. Enjoy the night.